Meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, Tricia.
Councilmember Matt Watkins. I see Councilmember Bill Burrow. Mayor Bill Reinhardt.
Here.
Vice Mayor Rick Johannes.
Here.
And Councilmember Larry Mitchell.
Present. I have a motion to excuse Bill Burrow. Second it. I said, do we have a
I'll
motion?
make the motion. I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Public comments.
Okay, Trish and I have talked about trying to get you a little report ahead of time so that you have it with your report packet. So I'll try and get that to her so she can get it to you before the meetings. But just to catch up, it's been just from an update standpoint, nothing extremely new. We continue in union discussions with our patrol officers union, the command officers, and the district and circuit court. We have 4 to do yet this year. We are progressing. Our internal wage and salary study that we did, we had 6 counties we compared to in our area. We think we've made some structural adjustments that we've needed to, along with the cost of living net. I think is making these union negotiations fairly simple, trying not to get too out of hand, but I think our 911 contract that we did get done earlier this year, and with the staff improvements there, they are fully staffed, by the way. They still have 1 person in training, which would put them just as sort of a backup. They're going to move them in. So 911 is fully staffed at this point, which compared to 6 or 8 months ago was critical. Yeah, we have 35 to 40% staff. So I think that contract there really helped the 911 managers and board try to get that squared away. So we're trying to be mindful of that and get caught up. And I think our internal wage and salary study that we did really is helping us. And we're trying to apply that, not just do the study and then throw it in the drawer, but trying to apply it to all the positions. Let's see, we continue to look at what we might do for the use of the land we own on Bader Road. We looked at maybe turning it into more of a county park. It's still on the table. We're going to start meeting directly with Batavia Township to see what their interest is or what they might consider a good use of the property. 50 years ago when it was purchased, it was set aside as potentially for a landfill. That, back in those days, we thought each county might have to have its own landfill, and that we're in a consortium now with Kalamazoo County and several other counties to take care of that. So we don't think we'll need it for that. So what do we do with it? That's the question. Other than that, we're working on a budget. Got our first draft of the 2026 budget on Thursday last week. And our new administrator, Frank, or he's not new now, but administrator that started January 1st, our deputy administrator was a new position we brought in, have done a real good job of helping at least me understand it, and I think helping all the departments understand where they're at, where their fund balances are to date, and being able to reorganize the budget in a reasonable fashion, and we're in really good shape. We had a nice general fund left over at the end of last year, and we think that'll grow this year. We're trying to figure out how we use ARPA monies and opioid monies and those kind of things to do lasting, but not lasting cost or increasing our cost to operate. So at the moment, it looks like for 2026 county budgets in really, really good shape. But we want to make sure we're doing things that don't add to our long-term costs because some of this money, including in my opinion, a lot of money, will continue to diminish over time, I think. that we've seen in the last couple of years at least. So, any questions? It's what we're up to.
Appreciate you.
Well, it is very pleasing to hear that your fund balance is getting closer to what you would like to have. Because for years, we're told that they couldn't tell what the leftover funds were until they had an audit. And I see Frank has turned the whole financial system around, which I was pleased with.
Yeah, I think hiring Jessica Miller, who was over at St. Joe County, was stealing good help. I think was really been a bonus too to help Frank.
There's a lot goes on in Frank's world, so help, I'm sure is warranted.
Any more public comment? Okay, presentation, State Rep Jennifer Williams.
Yeah, hi. I've met some of you I don't think I've ever met, but I'm Jennifer Wertz, I'm your state representative. Glad to be able to stop into your meeting tonight, and also glad to award you some exciting news. We did a new thing in the legislature this year, and we called them legislative directed spending items. And I could submit requests for the 35th district of items and things that either government or nonprofit entities could apply for through our office. And so the city of Bronson applied for $609,000 for your aging ultraviolet disinfection system. And you were awarded that amount from the state. So I was sitting here though and realizing I'm not sure how you're getting it yet, but we will find that out. My understanding is that the state treasurer department will be issuing checks at some point. If you followed the state government at all, we did pass a state budget. We had a brief 4-hour shutdown, and we had a continuation kind of stopgap we put in place, and then by before that week ended, we passed a full budget. So 2026 budget is passed, and funding, I just read that the governor just signed the roads package funding bills as well today. So that's another source of revenue that you will be receiving as well. And also some public service funds, I believe that will be coming to your police department as well to help with the public service needs. So, and we did all that, and we still cut $2 billion in the state budget. So this was really bipartisan. You know, we're in divided government, but the fact that we could kind of all come together on the priorities that we realized, and one of them, back to this item, is government transparency. We really want the funds that are being what we would traditionally call pork money. You know, if we're gonna distribute that money from the state budget, we want people to take ownership of that. We don't want it hidden, we don't want it being used wastefully. So, I don't know how glamorous this thing will be when you get it installed, but I'd love to come back and see it. I don't know that I'm gonna have a complete tour of your treatment facility, but I deal with enough crap in the farm life. So we raise chickens for Miller Poultry, and I grew up on a beef farm, so I'm well familiar with waste. I don't really want to see the entire thing, but pictures would be even sufficient. So Brandon was instrumental in that. He gave a presentation with me back in July, June.
I think it was July.
Yeah, that kind of came up very fast, but they were at a conference. It was you and Patrick. Yeah. And so they were able to get on. We had very short notice, but it worked out in your favor, so I'm really glad. So I don't know if you have any questions.
I have a statement.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you. In all the years I've been on council, and that's a lot. This is the first time I've ever felt we've had a representative go to bat for us
Oh,
and follow through with it. It is very heartwarming. And I did listen to your statements you made at that hearing. And you went right after them to explain why. And like I say, that was very heartwarming. So thank you.
Well, you are welcome. You know, that's, my heart is rural America. I grew up in Hillsdale County in a little town called Waldron. Slightly bigger than Burr Oak, I actually drove through Bronson many times on the bus to Burr Oak to play basketball or run track. I don't know what they call the track, but anyways, no disrespect to Burr Oak, but that's just the community that I grew up in, so I'm very familiar with the needs of small town communities. And, you know, a lot of times I think the feeling is in rural areas, we kind of get the shaft from the state. I think that's something that I'd like to thank our speaker for in the House, is that he's trying to be as fair as possible and help distribute funds to everywhere within the state. And so obviously your project was very worthy and highly needed, and so I hope that helps you in the process of meeting the requirements that Eagles imposed on you and your community as well, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's very,
Thank you.
great.
Can I ask real quick to get a picture with her and you guys to use in our press release? Can we take a few seconds to do that real quick? If you don't want to be in it, that's okay, but we are putting out a press release on the project tomorrow morning. We want to get her.
I should have worn purple.
I brought you
You were
something.
smart.
Patrick, you should be in there, anyone can call.
Patrick.
I know.
Patrick, you need to be here.
And Brandon.
Turn alongside us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just want to really thank the representative of her office for their dedication in moving this project forward and seeing it through to the finish line. Your office has been extremely helpful to us throughout this process and anytime we have questions or concerns. Thank you.
Many thanks to a Bronson native here. If you call the office, you can talk to Nicole, and then my back desk is Jonathan Muckles, his name, he's from Hillsdale. So I'm very thankful too for good staff who also have a heart for their district.
Don't have anything? All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the consent agenda. Anybody have questions on that?
Make a motion. Adopted.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay. New business, approved Metro Ag permits for Frontier Communications. Brandon.
Thank you, Mayor Reinhardt. Frontier Communications submitted multiple Metro Act permit requests for new fiber lines throughout the city. The project includes combination of underground directional boring and overhead aerial pole installations. 6 sets of plans and permits that were submitted are in your packet. Pursuant to the Metro Act, Frontier has filed the appropriate paperwork in the city's. It's been reviewed by the city attorney as well for compliance. Questions? 6 sets of plans. 6 sets of plans, so multiple different projects throughout the city.
With all the paper which put into that, as long as you're okay with it, I'm okay with it.
There. Motion. Make a motion to approve the Metro Act permits Frontier Communications.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, amend ordinance number 222, golf carts and ATVs.
Thank you, Mayor Reinhardt. At the previous council meeting, council briefly discussed potential changes to the golf cart and UTV ordinance. That discussion was tabled until tonight. As a reminder, at the August meeting, staff was directed to present an amended ordinance that would allow use up to a half hour before sunset and a half hour after sunrise. The current ordinance allows 1 hour currently. There was also a discussion on where to allow carts to cross US 12. Currently, it's only on traffic lights. So in your packet is an updated ordinance with that change. if there's any others, we'll have to take it back to.
I'd like to make a motion to pass. Cards can be crossed other than lights. All sections.
We got an ordinance here, you want to adopt to change that, is what you're saying?
So you say you want to add that to the
Yeah.
amendments that we're doing?
Yeah, I'd say around.
It's already,
It was just, it was.
That part is not in your draft ordinance. It's gonna be for discussion, and then once you decide on something, we'll amend the ordinance and take it back to you for.
I think you're gonna have to publish it, so if you wanna change where they can cross US 12, you're going to have to direct that be turned into an ordinance amendment and then publish that as part of the Open Meetings Act. So what you publish for tonight is to amend the time when the golf carts can be used from an hour before and an hour after to a half hour before and a half hour after. But if you want to make another change, you're going to have to direct that to the council or to the village manager, let him put it together and put it in a proposed amendment that would then be on next month's agenda as part of the Open Meetings Act.
I guess my question is 30 minutes sufficient? They have all the necessary lights and regulations that a vehicle does, right? I'm not saying you need to drive it at midnight, but
I agree.
I mean, I don't know if 30 minutes makes a difference and if it's worth adopting for that. My question.
You're going to allow them to operate 24 hours a day?
I didn't say that.
Oh, well.
I didn't say that. I just don't know if,
Changing it by 30 minutes, both sides, if that's worth the hassle, is what he's saying.
correct.
Yeah.
Personally, I agree with you. I think we'll leave it right where it's at.
I mean, I do get why people do want that if they're going to ball games or whatever, and I do understand. You do get to some games that it is dark, and when they get done, they want to go whatever, but I don't know if it's worth changing it. If we're gonna change the ordinance, it's probably worth more changing it to crossing at different intersections than times. I did take, we all received a letter. We all read this, and again, I would think that most of the accidents happen at the intersections before they happen anyplace else. So, not sure having them cross just at those is the correct.
My feelings are, number one, the golf cart has virtually no protection in accident because of the nature of the way they're built. I think if they're crossing at the stoplights, that's their best safety chance of getting across the road without having. Because traffic moves from town pretty quick. Are we?
I'm not
We're not
disagreeing.
into this part of it
Yeah.
So we need to put this.
So do we table the half-hour part and go back to Brandon with his wishes to change the cross?
If you're ready to make a decision tonight, if you give me direction, I can put that in the draft ordinance and bring it back to you for both of one of those items, however you want to go. If you want to do, we can probably find a way to make it seasonal, set a specific time if you wanted.
As your counsel, legally, you can do whenever those things. My question is, from a practical point of view, has anybody asked your public safety officer? What, from a public safety point of view, what makes sense? I mean, legally, you could say you can drive a golf cart 24 hours a day, but the question is, I hear a question about safety, and I'm just wondering, has anybody talked to Steve and the police to see?
Fine, but was when they originally did the ordinance.
Correct. That's why, I guess that's why I'm not going back, because he's already giving that as far as, we didn't want it to begin with, and if we did it at the intersections, which we took all of your input into that decision. So, again, I didn't feel as though anything has changed, so I guess maybe we should have asked, but my assumption was nothing had changed in your mind in the short period that we've had the ordinance in place.
No, I mean, the way, the way the ordinance was written, is the way you gotta keep going. But it's up to the council if they wanna make adjustments to that. But, you know, we had originally agreed that they cross the stop lights. But if the council wants to make a change, that's up to the council.
So we have direction to look at changing the ordinance and having an open forum and discussion about that. Or
What you can act on tonight is if you just want to do a half hour after sunrise and half hour before sunset, instead of an hour, you have that draft for approval tonight. But if you want to make any other changes, or if you want to do later in the evening or something like that, then you need to take it back to you. So we have the draft that has the half hour change.
if there's a possibility of changing where we're crossing, we need to have that discussion. There's no sense in changing this ordinance now, just to change it again 30 days from now.
So I guess we'll table it again and then add the crossing anywhere on 12.
Okay, so you want that in there, next time?
Bring it back, I guess.
And again, I suggest to the council, you're the ones that set policy. And when you set that policy, you're always gonna have one or two people that are gonna be saying, I want it different, I want this, let's talk about chickens. But the simple fact is, your responsibility as council is to make a decision that benefits all the citizens of Bronson and their health, safety, and welfare. So when you make those decisions, you need to take that into account.
See, my thought is, we're taking care of a handful of people,
Right.
and we're spending a lot of time on it, that I thought we had a pretty good ordinance in. And yet, if we do changes to it, you're gonna have the other handful of people that aren't gonna like it. So which side are you bowing to?
I think we need to put up for discussion. Probably we're not doing it right now.
Well, but you see my point. Are we gonna change this fluently? And we're gonna have people on this side, and we're gonna have people on that side.
So is it worthwhile having a, can't even think of the term now.
Public hearing?
Public hearing, that's it. Public hearing. And have the public come in and, I mean.
Yeah.
Let them speak their piece. I mean, we've done it on other issues like
Yeah.
everything else. So I think that's if we need to make a change or we want to make a change, I think we need to hear from the public in order to do that. I don't think it's right for us to make that decision based upon one or two letters that we've received. Let's leave it up to the public to kind of help make that decision, and then we'll take that guidance and make the best decision that we can at that point.
Do a public hearing next month
I
with it?
think so. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's schedule that, yeah. Okay, so we'll table that again. Okay, approve IT services agreement, Creek Enterprises, Brandon?
Thank you, Mayor Reinhardt. Staff recently reevaluated our IT service needs due to decline or increase in wait times for support for our current provider, who is VC3. It's taking a long time to get back to us on tickets and issues that we have. Like I said, a lot of those issues have come up since they were purchased by VC3. In your packet, I have 3 proposals, one from Zeta One in Coldwater, Creek Enterprises, and what our current rate is with VC3. Staff's recommending we switch to Creek Enterprises. They have locations in Jackson and Adrian. I checked references for Creek Enterprises, and they stated their customer service has been much better. Many of them made the switch from VC3 to Creek Enterprises, so it was good to get their feedback since they've been through that same exact change. They highly recommend them. They all experienced a smooth transition going from VC3 to Creek Enterprises with no disruptions. And they also submitted a lower price to us on replacing the City Hall and Police Department servers. The city needs to provide VC3 90 days notice to opt out of the contract. Switching all services to Creek will make the installation of the new City Hall and Police Department servers smoother, and seeking approval to enter into an agreement that's satisfactory to the city attorney.
What? So,
After having the city attorney review the
oh,
agreement.
okay. What's the lead time on the new server?
I think they told us like 8 to 12 weeks.
So you're right in that 90-day window anyway.
Yeah.
So, so essentially, we're looking to approve both C and D, right? In conjunction is basically what you want to do. Is that a correct statement?
Essentially, but you have to do it separately here.
Okay.
Approve C and then we can approve D.
Now, what happens, we give them 90 days, it takes a little bit longer for the new servers to come in, where if we're in that window, contract's done, we're not signed up with a new one, what, is there, I mean, they'll just take over helping facilitate until the new servers come in, is there any lag downtime?
No, so we'll transition to the new provider and do the servers at that point, or if it takes a little longer, we'll do it later. But we'll be switching our managed IT services to VC3 after the 90-day, so there's no lapse in service.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, just making sure, especially if you're doing both, I didn't want to make sure, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Any more questions on C? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve IT service agreement, Creek Enterprise.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, D, approved purchase of new servers, Brandon.
Thank you, Mayor Reinhardt. Creek Enterprises was significantly lower for both the City Hall and Police Department servers at a cost of $24,844, while the proposal from VC3 was $61,432, a difference of $36,588. Like I mentioned, if we switch IT managed services like we just did to Creek Enterprises, they'll drop that quote by $2,000. There'll be less time spent trying to work with VC3, so they'll be able to do it all themselves. So that brings the total down to $22,844. VC3 quoted us combining two servers into one, since there's a possibility that we might be in the same building. We tried to see if there was some cost savings there with having one server. Creek Enterprises recommend that we don't combine them and keep them separate. And obviously they're significantly cheaper as well. Last year, I got a quote from VC3 for just doing the City Hall server, and that was about $19,600. So the fact that we can do both for pretty much the same price is great.
Absolutely. Any questions? Any motions?
I'll make a motion for D, approve purchase of new servers.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, E, approve DPW overhead door repairs, Brandon.
Mayor Reinhardt, during our voluntary Myosha site visit, one of the items that they identified was addressing the garage doors at the DPW barn. Photo eyes need to be installed on 4 doors and placed at the proper height. They will also install safety edges at the bottom of the doors to prevent serious injuries if a door were to come down on a vehicle or a person. At that point, it would automatically go back up. This also includes the replacement of one garage door opener that is due for replacement. Kenyon Doors submitted the lowest price at $4,780. while Bradley Overhead Doors submitted a price of $6,566. We recommend the proposal from Kenyon Door. I believe we've worked with them in the past and had good luck with it.
They do good work.
Any questions there?
I'll make a motion, we adopt Kenny Door for the overhead door repairs.
I'll support.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. City staff comments. Jerry?
Jerry's rich. He's got a whole bunch of money.
I'm not there till it's delivered.
This is true.
You just get you the copy of the check, huh?
Busy sewers work that they've been doing, our flows have been way down, which of course we've had very dry year also, so it's probably a combination of both, but our water we pump at the wells and our water we're taking in at the plant, we're only 200,000 more at the plant last month, where a lot of times we were 200,000 a day more, so that's huge.
It'll be really interesting to see when we
Yeah,
do
when we
get a big rainy period or something like
When
that.
they're
to
done and we
see-
have a normal
Yes.
month or two.
It'll be very interesting to see that.
With their work, they've sent tons of chunks of grease and anything you can think of. I sent Billy a list of everything I could think of.
And a picture.
Yeah, it was gross. We had our 2-yard dumpster is 3/4 of the way full right now with stuff we netted out. We factored it out a couple times, but it's a lot of work getting set up, so we started netting it out. A lot of stuff. So that stuff, some of it's probably been in there years and just hung up in different spots.
Right.
Yeah, it's making a difference. That's all I got.
You want to say anything?
I had a hiring event last week. I had 6 individuals come in. None of them are certified, however, so everybody will be looking for academy, but I was reviewing those today and we're gonna get some interviews set up. Have people come in and see where we go from there, but really didn't move forward much. But we've got one, looks like we're gonna be hopefully sending the academy in January. We're still waiting for state licensing to approve. That one individual we've been working on for a few months now. We're just in a holding pattern. And so once he gets approved, then we get him going real quick, because he's got prior experience in the academy, but we may have to send 2 to the academy in January. State budget did get approved, and there is money for grants for academies again. So we're definitely going to take advantage of that. I don't know what the dollar figure is, what they all cover quite yet, because they're still working on all the paperwork. But we're moving forward, it's just not a quick fix. So we're doing the best we can. Right now, we're down to Frank and I.
No part-time?
We have part-timers, but nobody's available. They're working full-time in other agencies, they're not available.
What kind of help we getting from county?
County's covering the shifts that we're not, so if call comes in, they're handling them. So they're covering for us. We told them anything that needed investigation, that to turn it over to us, but the sheriff told them, we've got enough on our hands that if they have something, they'll take care of it for us. I've been monitoring what calls they've had during the nights, and it's been very few, which is fortunate. Seems like maybe they might have maybe about one larger call, maybe a couple times a week. But a lot of it's been real trivial stuff that they only spend a few minutes on and then they're off and doing their stuff. So at this point, they're assisting by covering that stuff for us. So hopefully that's not gonna be too long. We want to get people calling. But with the academy situation, that'll slow things down. It'll be next summer before they're covering shifts.
You would break the same flow? It's gotta be tough, a lot of hours, everything else.
It's tough, but we're managing. We're keeping the day-to-day stuff going on, and some of the things that we can push off a little bit, we're pushing off, but we're keeping the day-to-day stuff going on, keeping up with the admin stuff, FOIA requests. now I'm gonna have to start doing sound effect inspections again because Travis was doing those for me. Now he's not, for the most part, not here. And I'm gonna try to figure out where I'm gonna squeeze those in too. Those are still coming in and it's beneficial money, it's just finding time.
What request for those?
FOIA, that's the Freedom of Information Act, we get those all the time. You know, and if there's a video involved, then we've gotta spend time, you know, those that watch the whole video, figure out what we have to redact, spend the time redacting, then reburn it, but in the meantime, you're still handling calls and
Right.
phone calls, people at the door, so it's quite chaotic. But yeah, we're holding our own in there. If we fall behind, we come in a couple times on our day off just to try to catch up a few things. So we're doing okay. It's just, it's busy. That's all I have.
Thank you, Steve. City manager. Thank you, Mayor Reinhardt. Just mentioned that my OSHA safety consultant recently conducted a voluntary site visit to observe our DPW crew as they were trenching for a new service line. The observer was very highly complimentary of our crew with their excellent communication and overall commitment to site safety. There were only a couple of minor things found, which are pretty trivial and good for us to work on. I want to thank Joe and the entire DPW for running such a safe and effective job site, as well as Jerry. Visits have been very helpful as we continue to prioritize workplace and job site safety. Thank you, everyone.
Council comments. Larry?
Well, I have to thank Brandon and Patrick and Jennifer for getting the grant for us. I don't know if any of you watched that, I know you did, yeah, you sent it to me. But that hearing, I know that Patrick and Brandon only had a few hours to put that together. They brainstormed and did a great job, I think. And Jennifer went right to bat for us. And like I told her, this is, in all my years, she's the first one who's really got in going to bat for Bronson. So that was very, very important for us. Jerry, I was noticing water usage going into the plant and when you pumped it. That's amazing. I realize it's a dry year, but they're down there. How far is the lines down?
They were right, so line on the driveway they were working on Thursday. As far as cleaning and camera, seeing what needs done to it. But doesn't sound like those are too awful bad, those ones that have been surcharged, not like some of the other areas, but I think they've hit a lot of the really bad stuff already.
We're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And with the water flows being well under control, and our water table is still fairly high in the city compared to other places. And yes, we haven't had the rain this year, but our lines are in water.
Yeah.
In water all the time. So I see it's really making a difference. And of course, you guys have been jetting out the things that needed to be jetted out for years.
Cleaned a lot of debris out of what else.
Yeah. So, thank you to you guys. And Joe and his crew are going through the ocean inspection and getting good praises and wonderful. And those guys are getting ready for leaves. It's their busiest time of the year in a row. So hopefully the people don't rake them into the street. So it just makes it that much harder for them. Steve, you're doing a great job of trying to rustle up help.
We're managing, it's just, It's the hardest time I've seen in 25 years.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
And the idea of getting some grants is wonderful. You're gonna be funding the academy.
Yeah.
So it takes a while for everything to work for you, but it's moving in the right
We'll get
direction.
there.
Thank you. I know you put a lot of effort and time into this. I'd hate to think you could just go and throw your hands up, I'm retired.
I've been asked several times.
So thank you. And all the staff, you guys are doing a great job. And I went over the bills today and there's never a question. You guys are right on top of it. So thank you. That's all I have.
Great. Or Matt?
No, just, piggybacking on what Larry said. The grant's a very big deal, so thank you, congratulations for all our. It's gonna help out greatly. The other thing is we got Halloween coming up, plus, it's getting darker earlier, just be mindful of kids on the street, so.
And kind of the same way on that. I know Lisa, you guys are coming down a little later this year. I had it very fast yet. People, be mindful of the kids. Dark, like you said, Halloween. But I want to compliment out here in Four Corners. Those mansions out there for the businesses.
Scarecrows.
I mean, scarecrows. All the scarecrows out there, that's pretty impressive. People coming into town and seeing that, that's real nice. Addition for community.
Yeah, I had to go all their sentiments also. Thanks to Jennifer for coming today and Brandon and Patrick with their very quick spiel they did. That was very impressive. And thanks to Steve for sticking through this hardest time in 25 years. I think we got the right guy in there if we got to go through this. So
We'll get there.
if there's anything we can do, just holler at us too.
You have a magic wand.
But yeah, that's all I got. Short and sweet. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye.